I suppose from the outset, 22 points, I just said fair return. Probably would have hoped that maybe we were 24, but at the same time, it's there's a lot we've done very well, and there's some stuff we haven't done well. So it's a bit of both. But overall, the crucial thing for us is that we've given some outstanding performance, and then we've been disappointing on occasions. And I think when I review it, the crucial thing is, I said the first third of the season gives you an indication, and the most important thing for us is that you can see that Pats and Rovers ourselves are in chasing Dundalk, and it's just important for us to make sure we hang in there and get back winning and putting the pressure on them. That's really where it's at.
A lot of criticism, particularly in the last 24 hours, over the style the team play away from home. Particularly commented last night in the live game with Setanta and probably later on in M&S about not playing through midfield, through Miller and through Healy.
I'll be honest, I didn't see it. The most important thing for me is to make Cork City a better team. Most important thing for the lads. We've improved greatly. The lads did phenomenally well last year. I keep saying that. They've done well this year. We are disappointed with some of the results. As I keep stressing, we go out every game to win. Teams that we're playing against take a different approach than they did last year. It's becoming more difficult because teams are a lot more defensive, and a lot of stuff being said to us about us. As I said, a lot of it isn't in the interest of Cork City, are not Cork City people. So the people I'm only responsible for is to make sure the group of lads can deliver to the people that come through the gate, who are the members of the club and the people that pay at the gate and who are our supporters. That's what it boils down to. So it's not, I hear comments, yes, sometimes I see it, I didn't see what was said, but a lot of people are ignoring their buddies and friends who are with other clubs, who are managing other clubs, and I've seen them play, and some of the play that's going on with some of the other clubs isn't great. It's very defensive, but no one is saying a word about it. Everyone wants to have a pop off Cork. So, it's a bit of, probably, how would I put it this way? It's a bit of people make comments about us that really have no interest in us. It probably suits people that if we don't do well. So, the most important thing for me is that for the people that come through our gate, our real supporters, is to try and see, can we get back to winning ways? And they know what a great team this team is, and we're all a bit disappointed. Certainly last week against Dundalk, yes, we were disappointed because we felt we could win the match, and but certain things happen in games. No one has gone out deliberately not to play through midfield. No one has gone out deliberately to play a certain way. We play very open football at times, but sometimes it doesn't happen. That's just the way it is, and yesterday was a case in point. It just didn't happen for us the second half, and we're all disappointed. But you don't feel sorry for yourself. We're back in the training ground this morning, hoping to rectify it. Sligo is the most important game for us at the moment. Huge 3 points on offer, and again, very difficult team, and we have to get back to. We're at home Friday. Hopefully, our crowd will be back on force, so we have to get back and get 3 points and get back to winning ways.
And the clubs you mentioned, is it a race for second now for them? Realistically, Dundalk being so far ahead so early?
No, God. Well, I think that's been disrespectful to St. Pat's and Rovers and everyone, because I think, maybe Dundalk are celebrating. I don't know, but I would say that if you were in Pat's camps or Rovers camps or Bows or even ourselves, you'd be saying, God, I think there's a lot of football to be played, and certainly not. I wouldn't think so. Look, time will tell. Maybe Dundalk will run away with it. I don't know. They're a good side, but I think a lot of the other teams will still have a big say in it yet.
John, just about getting back to kind of winning habit. We're playing 3 at the bottom 4 clubs on the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
In the next 10 days.
Yes.
So the target really needs to be about 9 points.
Target is 3 points on Friday night, Noel. Yeah. Get back to Friday night is a huge game. Sligo have probably underachieved. Sligo were tipped as title contenders at the start of the season, and they've probably disappointed themselves, and Owen has been disappointed. But I suppose the most important thing for us is that it's a huge home game for us. So we can't look no further than Friday night. We've just got back. 3 points are on offer. It's going to be a tough game, and they have potential to be near the top. Sligo have and haven't delivered, but at some point you imagine something's going to happen. We have to make sure Friday night that we can take the 3 points, because we are very disappointed. There's no point saying otherwise. But at the same time, sometimes when you're down, you need a reaction. We need guys to bounce back, and there's no hiding place. And our supporters, as I said last week, were disappointed, but they're still, where are we in the table? Are we second, third? Third, so it's still, it's great. I suppose one has in one point that this club haven't been near the Premier Division for years. We've been there since last year, so we're probably got a little bit spoiled. But at the same time, long way to go. Most important thing is to win Friday night, refocus, get back to what we've been good at. We were good at that last year, and we need to get back to that.
And without two key men, obviously, for in the league case for a couple of months, but with Ben out as well.
Yes.
Two key players in the 11. Are you happy enough that the squad will be able to cope with the loss of those two players?
Well, I'm hoping it will.
3 weeks.
I'm hoping it will. I think to be fair to the squad, if you look at like Dan and Darren played together last year for all the matches, and Benno came in, and Benno did great for us. But I suppose we're lucky that we can call on Dan to come in. Dan played a couple of weeks ago against Longford as well in the home game. So and obviously having Johnny out as well, it's disappointing for us and disappointing for Johnny, because you want all your players available, but at the same time I think we have the strength and depth to cope with that.
But most of them have assumed the captaincy now again, and if he plays in the next couple of matches with Levy and Ben.
Good question. I haven't thought about that. It's immaterial at the moment. Well, yeah,
experience and everything else.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there's lots of guys. Haven't thought about that. Doesn't really matter. The most important thing is we've a huge match Friday night. There's 3 points in offer, and we need to get back to winning ways.
How is Billy D?
He's going for a check-up this afternoon. Again, there will be concern with him because he got a knock to the head. Wasn't concussed but was dazed, and he's been checked out this afternoon. So we just had to be 100%. Normally in these cases, simply because it's a head injury, you have to be careful, and there's a responsibility on me as the manager and on the club, in the sense that sometimes if when it's a head injury, you have to just be, sometimes people say, turn a blind eye to these things. I'm around a long time. With injuries like that, you can't, because if there's anything wrong and you need to give him a few days break, we'll do that. Hopefully we won't have to, but we just have to take medical advice on that.
Is there any time frame for Alan's return?
No, he's getting a scan today, Rory, so we would hope that we're optimistic that hopefully he will be back within 2 weeks. We don't expect him to be much longer than that. So we're targeting possibly Limerick away, unlikely, maybe Pat's League Cup game, Rovers League game. That's what we're targeting. So probably have a better idea by tomorrow or Friday.
And your opponents Friday, what have you seen of them so far?
Yeah, it's incredible, because when you look at the panel they had and the players they have, they have a really, really strong squad on paper. But it's like that, you have to deliver on the pitch. And I think there's no doubt they had a fantastic pre-season. And I think when we scored that late goal up in Sligo, it deprived them of the 3 points. It just seemed to knock them. And the following week they lost. And for some reason then it just knocked their confidence. And that can happen. And since then they've had a combination of injuries and guys missing, and they haven't been firing on all cylinders, and obviously they're in a position where they didn't expect to be, and that is difficult, and probably also there's a lot of pressure because they're getting a lot of criticism from their own supporters as well, and that takes its toll. But at the same time, when you look at the players they have still have got Keane, Folan, Cawley, Russell, Cochran, Beattie, Brushing all. They still have. That's all those guys are going to play against us, and maybe even Piers is back. So they've guys who've won leagues and been around the place, and But I think for us is that we will treat Sligo with utmost respect, because we know they're a good side, and we know from the first game of the season that on the night they possibly deserve to win the match. But the crucial thing for us is that the first third of the season is gone. We're back at home. We need to refocus, get back to winning, get back to get 3 points. Going to be very difficult, but at the same time, I'm sure we're going to have a big crowd, and we just need to get back winning.
John, you said there yesterday about confidence taking a bit of a dip since the Dundalk match.
Yes.
Do you think it was kind of forward vintage yesterday by the result, or
it's hard to know. It's I think the problem with the Dundalk game, because
how did it manifest itself, do you feel, since losing to Dundalk?
No, training was very good. Guys were good. Guys reacted in a very positive way, because I think we felt after Dundalk was that we felt we were a bit unlucky. You know, we know they were a good side. Everyone said they were the fittest side, but like we give a fantastic performance. So I think the disappointing for yesterday, some people may say that, you know, we might have scored too early. You know, but we scored for 20 minutes. You know, 25 minutes we dominated the match. I suppose realistically looking at it, Bohs didn't really have any chance in the game, but certainly in the second half we backed off for some unknown reason. You know, because our plan wasn't to back off. We actually thought at half time they were there to get the second goal, and I suppose Gary was unlucky with the shot, and that would have killed the game. But for some reason, the last 15 minutes, you know, maybe you're hanging on to winning, fellas. You know, naturally actually back up. But we had a good chat about this morning, and you know, you can only talk so much. You know, I keep believing you can analyse so much. We've all the videos we can analyse. I'm a firm believer in that. You know, you get your head right. You know, ultimately at the end of the day, I see what the guys, how they train. I see how fit they are. I see what they can do. I see how good we are at passing. I've seen fantastic displays from some matches, but for some reason, as a group yesterday, a lot of the lads played well below themselves, and you can analyse it until the cows come home. Ultimately, they need to go home, rethink, get their minds for Friday night, because we get out and get back to Friday night. It's a huge game for us, and we have to get back on track.
Mark must have been delighted with his own contribution, scoring after 2 minutes and back in the team. I suppose was a huge.
Well, Mark is Mark. You know, he's a lovable guy, a brilliant guy, underestimated. You know, you can see all the other teams now are beginning to try and get him booked, and you know, he had one book in the whole of last year. You can see straight from the kick-off yesterday, all the other opposition are trying to get the referee to book him, because they don't want to mark him. They know he's an honest to God, wins balls, goes for everything. You know, never not a malicious bone in his body, but they're all beginning to gang up and trying to get, you know, and it's no coincidence that he had his third book in the season, which is a mark. He'd won all last season, because obviously referees are being influenced because guys are trying to say that he's jumping too early, he's getting backing into them, he's putting up his elbows, which he isn't. But that's just because teams are frightened of him, you know. But the good thing for Mark is that, you know, he came into start the season injured, wasn't fit, and it's taken him a bit of time. So I'm hoping that by getting that great goal yesterday, he get his confidence back, because, you know, at the same time when you're playing as centre forward and you're being slagged off and you're being criticised, it is difficult. And at the same time, you know, Mark is no different than anyone else. You know, he wasn't doing well. He took a bit of criticism. You know, so a lot of people said he shouldn't have been in the team. People say he wasn't good enough. You know, so, but at the same time, this team knows the value that he gives to us, and hopefully with the goal he got yesterday, it might get him going. So you know, he's a great guy and a great character. I keep saying the biggest thing for us is that we're a quiet team. We don't get involved in referees. We don't try to influence referees. And sometimes that is to the detriment of ourselves when you look over games. But at the same time, it's the way I like things to be. I just like the guys to stay out of it, get on, play it, and you know. So, and I suppose Mark is a typical example of the type of guy we have in our team, and the type of person he is like.
He's doing double sessions around, is he? He's doing double kind of his training, then he's going to physio or something. Is it for the Achilles injury?
No. He's training in the ground. He's training in the gym. He's doing double sessions. All right, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, he's no injury. Oh, he's fine now. No, he had an injury, and he probably, to be fair to the lad, to be fair to him, when you're in amateur football, when you get a knock, you probably get away with it. At the highest level, you're not going to get away with it. But he probably didn't understand that, you know. And at the start of the season, we were telling him, you know, and he got advice to take a break for a few days, and he didn't want to. But eventually, I suppose he saw the light. He realises now, and you know, he's been back doing double sessions probably for the last 3 weeks, and all of a sudden his fitness level has come really, really high again, and he's really nearly back to where he was last year, I think, and that's good for us.
Yeah, just Wexford man, Wexford native. Yeah, played for Waterford for the last 2.5 years now. I've started there with the under-19s, I suppose, and after half a season, I was called into the senior squad and kicked on from there. Didn't really get into the team at the start, but after that, then I got into the team and tried to hold a place. And once I held a place, I tried to kick on. And last season was a big season, I suppose, for me personally. Obviously, we got off to an okay start, but then things happened and we lost a lot of players. But felt my own personal performance, I thought I'd done myself justice last year. So when Cork came calling, there was really no other option. That was the place I wanted to go. I know it took a while over the course of the season. It's a third into the season now, and I was only registered for the last game, so that took a while. But I'm in now, getting my head down. Hopefully I can break into the team and take it from there.
That's going to be, you assume, Kelly, that's going to be a difficult enough task.
Yeah.
The size of the squad alone.
Yeah, well,
The quality of the players.
it's a big squad. It's a good squad. You know, it's a great bunch of lads. They welcome you. Everybody gets on. You know, even from the last match coming in this morning, nobody had their heads down. Nobody was disappointed. We all knew it wasn't the result we wanted, but everyone knew we had to come back in this morning and get going again. So that's what we need. That's what everybody needs. We need 11 leaders when we're on a pitch, and I think that's what we have throughout the dressing room. We have leaders. Everyone wants to win. Everybody's a winner in there. So we're not too far off. We'll keep going anyway.
You would like to break into the team.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks, I suppose.
Well,
you could be in quicker than you think.
I know. Yeah, we're there's a few after dropping, so you know, I suppose everybody who wants to come in wants to break into the team straight away. But sure, with how they got off to the start of the season, you know that's tough. Everyone's flying in there. Like, I know the last couple of results, but confidence is still high. It's still up there, and that's always a great sign when you come into a club. It's always a lot easier to come into it when confidence is high. So we'll see how it goes. I'll keep my head down, keep working hard and training. Hopefully I can break in then.
And when John approached you, how did he sell the club to you, or did he have to sell the club to you?
He didn't have to sell the club to me, no. He just said it was a great bunch of lads I was working with, and you know, being full time, it always helps as well. You know, it's always good for your own game as well. But even from last season, you could see the club is always on the up. It's not looking backwards at all. The club is looking forward so much, and that's always a help as well. You know, it's not standing still. Everything is trying to push the club on, and you could see that with the Dundalk game we got. The crowd was amazing at that game. Like, it was just, and that's pushing the club further again when you have a crowd like that are coming in and just supporting the team. Like, you know, and even yesterday there was a good crowd travel to the match, and they were loud. They were getting behind the players every time. Like, you know, there was no getting at the players. There was none of that. Like, it's all trying to push everyone forward, and that's what you need.
And the prospect of European football as well must have been very tantalising.
Yeah, well, I forgot about that myself at the start, but I just realised that wasn't a factor. No, that wasn't one of the main factors. No, but I suppose it always helps as well. You know, it's Europa League. That's what everyone dreams, I suppose, trying to get into the group stages of that. If you can get into the group stages of that, you're living a dream basically, for going off to other countries to play. And I suppose we've got as good a chance as anybody with the team we have in there. You know, we can upset anybody, and we know that ourselves. We play as good a football as anybody. We can battle when we want to battle, and that's what we need. We need to just get our heads down, I suppose, and get working. But you know, there's a lot of the league left as well, so we have to concentrate on that as well.
What's it like as a young player coming into a dressing room with 3 ex-Irish internationals in it, and people experiencing Dan Murray, McNulty?
It always helps, you know. They've been around a long time, I suppose, and for myself, I'm only.
Like you're saying that, but go on.
For myself, you know, I'm only young, like, so it's always good to have experienced heads in there. But you need a mixture of youth and experience as well. And with the youth, you get the legs, you get everything, you get the drive, I suppose. And the same with the experienced lads. You know, they all still want it. They welcome everyone in. They make you part of the team, and I suppose that's what you need. The likes of Healers, Miller, Dan, you know, they're all quality players, still are quality players, but we have the best midfield line in the league nearly. I've like 2 ex-Irish internationals in the middle of the field. Nobody else can say they have that. That always helps. Like, that's when going gets tough in the game, like, they're the lads you need to stand up, and they have been so far.